all things STEM from reading.
Do you like your books?
Yeah!
This is going to be fabulous for our students to take these books home.
I love reading even more now.
Well, I was not thinking this big. Like Atlanta News First really went all out.
This is Atlanta News First Books to Kids.
Yeah!
Books, they can take us to magical places, and reading, that's the skill that gets us there. I'm Tracy Hutchins.
And I'm Blair Miller. Here at Atlanta News First, we have been on a mission to get children reading since 2016 with our program, Books to Kids.
Well, we visited 30 schools in and around the metro area, handing out, get this, more than 100,000 books, and it truly has been a passion project.
So many of us love this program, and over the next half hour, we're not only taking a look back on the program, but also shining a light on the importance of literacy. So let's start at the beginning.
It all started with a staggering statistic.
Research what shows that if a child is not reading on grade level by third grade, their opportunities greatly diminish. The dropout rate, if you're not on grade level, tends to rise. Some other issues, perhaps even law enforcement look at third grade reading skills.
That research sparked a conversation between our station and the founder of Page Turners Make Great Learners, Fifi Handy.
The creative services director at the time reached out and said, hey, we want to support reading because reading is never going to go away for our children, for any of us. At some point in our everyday lives, personally or professionally, we're going to have to read. So what better way for us to connect a community service and be able to make an indelible impact on children across Atlanta by creating the Books to Kids campaign.
And the Books to Kids program was born. Our mission, to get the children of Atlanta reading, targeting schools that could benefit the most from additional literacy resources.
The scholars will be able to take these books home to create their own home library or enhance the library that they presently have.
This is my favorite book. I got Flash Sterling.
Every single one of you are a wonder. You're a miracle, and you're all beautiful.
We're solving the problem and the issues of students owning books by providing them with books to build their own home library or either to add to it, but also we're also connecting the experience of reading to the real world as it relates to news. There's news every single day.
It is so great to be with you all today. My name is Brooks Baptiste from Atlanta News First.
Who loves to read? Raise your hand. I know, it's awesome, isn't it?
So just imagine a news reporter or a meteorologist walking into your school and being able to ask questions about how reading plays a role in what you do.
I get to do the weather every day, but it all started with reading. It was so important that I read when I was your age.
You're opening up windows of limitless possibilities to careers, professions that they never think about.
Research shows if children aren't reading proficiently by the end of third grade, they are 4 times more likely to drop out of high school. This is the age where children stop learning to read and start reading to learn.
If students aren't reading on grade level by 3rd and 4th grade, they have a 76% chance of falling behind their peers. So we think about truancy, we think about the dropout rate, we think about poverty, joblessness, homelessness. We think about all of these things that are rooted from illiteracy. We know that our children, if they're not reading on grade level, they're not going to do well academically. And we live in a world where there's bullying, there's self-esteem, there's mental health issues. And so we want them reading on grade level because we know that eventually we want them to be employable adults. We want them to give back to their community. We want to make that investment on the front end so that we don't have to make it on the back end.
And Page Turners Make Great Learners has been investing in the Atlanta community since 2005, which began as a passion project.
I started Page Turners Make Great Learners because of my daughter. I realized that she didn't share my love of reading. And I knew that reading crossed all curriculums, including math, science, history, civics. And I knew that falling in love with reading would offer her opportunities to deepen her comprehension, build her critical thinking skills. But I also noticed, more importantly, that she wasn't reading on grade level. And I needed to do everything that I possibly could as her parent to get her reading on grade level, but also falling in love with reading as well. And so outside of that love came a love of inspiring and encouraging and motivating other students to read as well.
Over the years, Page Turners Make Great Learners has been a literacy force in the Atlanta community, holding readathons, book clubs, book donation drives, and creative events like the Story Bus.
What do we need a car for? We got a bus that breathes fire.
We came up with another way to get students excited about reading by creating the Story Bus. We partner with MARTA in creating an opportunity where students take a trip into a story, is what we call it.
We saw a lot of places. The blind man with the spotted dog. It was funny at the same time, and it was cool.
We know that a lot of students never leave their neighborhoods. Some of them can stand from their school parking lots and look at Atlanta and never visit Atlanta. So imagine riding a city bus and being able to tour the city and look at the tall buildings, but also connecting that experience to stories. We've had opportunities where we've had civic leaders, we've had authors, we've had professionals board the bus and share how reading plays an important role in their everyday lives and also in their careers.
These are what create the memories that create the love for learning, because we store them because they're so exciting.
When you read a book, you can go to places, faraway places that you've never been to before. That's what reading very much does for our children. It takes them where they need to go and where they want to go. And so combining those two agencies and marrying them together and to create an exciting opportunity where we get to share in the community service and then we get to share a reading experience in an innovative and creative way is taken off.
When we come back, the personal connection that drives our program sponsors.
We want to be sure that we get a book in every kid's hands so that they can not only learn to read, but acquire a great amount of skill in reading.
More on Books to Kids in the community next. Welcome back. Books to Kids is made possible by various partnerships and sponsorships we have with companies based in and around Metro Atlanta. It takes hard work, dedication, and most importantly, resources. It takes a village.
Good books, cool books. And this one, I like this one.
The Atlanta News First Books to Kids program wouldn't work without our amazing sponsors, the Kent Nugent Law Firm, Troncalli Subaru and Subaru of Kennesaw, Delta Community Credit Union, and McDonald's. These companies are not only providing resources, but investing in our future.
We're here because we want to make the greatest impact in all of our communities where our restaurants sit.
We want to be sure that we get a book in every kid's hands so that they can not only learn to read, but acquire a great amount of skill in reading.
If we can help young people enjoy reading, these people are the future leaders of all of us going forward. So the earlier we can help them, the better we all will be.
It's so important for us to give them the tools they need to succeed. And if helping donate books is the first step towards that goal, we're going to continue to do that year after year.
Reading broadens horizons. It allows kids to explore new places, new perspectives, new possibilities with the turn of a page.
We believe that education is so important, and reading, oh my goodness, it is a building block to a child's education.
We're also grateful for our partners. The Georgia Department of Education helps us target schools that could benefit the most from our program. Georgia State takes the excitement of the day up a notch with their cheer squad and mascot, Pounce, who's always a hit with the students. 2 men in a truck are the muscle behind our program, transporting the books to each school we visit. And finally, page turners make great learners, helping to make sure we have enough books available so that every student at every school we visit receives 5 books. Since the program's inception, we have visited more than 30 schools and given out over 100,000 books. And we're not stopping anytime soon because we want to do our part to change the trajectory of literacy rates that took a hit during the pandemic.
I think COVID really impacted our children beyond reading. We are still seeing school professionals and educators doing remediation, especially in reading. Being dislocated and disconnected from the classroom impacted how our students were learning. So having those struggles pre-COVID and then after COVID, having that disconnection and maybe, just maybe, not having any books in the home, not being told to read and make reading an everyday practice, I think that really impacted our students heavily.
At Atlanta News First, we adjusted our Books to Kids program during that time, making sure we continued to encourage reading, but in a safe way.
But it won't be luck you'll leave with, because you'll have love. You will have love, love, love.
A lot of us, a lot of nonprofit agencies, including Page Turners Make Great Learners, had to pivot. We had to figure out, how do we reach our audience? How do we reach children and still continue to facilitate our mission? And that was connecting with them virtually. It was a wonderful thing, a wonderful surprise that we still add to our core programming, connecting with students where we can't physically be there. And we wanted to be able to partner with schools in that way to still be able to provide that programming at the quality in which we provided it before. So maybe we couldn't be there in person, but being able to be on their phones or being on their laptops and computers and still being able to engage with them.
According to the 2024 National Assessment of Educational Progress Reading Assessment, only 31% of fourth graders in Georgia are proficient in reading, which matches the national average. That means about 70% of fourth graders are already behind. And a study published in the Journal of Education for Students Placed at Risk found that students that read for at least 15 minutes a day outside of school saw improvements in their reading comprehension, vocabulary, and overall academic achievement. It's more important than ever to support literacy initiatives and educators tackling this problem, along with parents and caregivers helping at home. Reading is a workout for the brain, so small changes like having books in the house, limiting screen time, reading 15 minutes before bed, and encouraging reading for fun can make a big impact.
So what we're seeing now with educators, they're still in the remediation stages, but I think that what we're doing and what educators are doing is really paring down where the struggles are and where to meet our children where they are, and we're still about the business of motivating them to read.
Coming up, the impact of books to kids, how it's changing literacy here in Georgia, one student at a time.
One student, he opened his bag and it was like Christmas. And so just to see the kids' excitement, that just warmed my heart.
Here at Atlanta News First, our goal is to get children excited about reading. That's why we make each Books to Kids event special by literally rolling out the red carpet. It's an experience both students and educators say they will never forget.
If you like what you got, say yeah.
This is for you. I was asked this morning what time the party was starting.
She's right. Each Atlanta News First Books to Kids event is a party, and we treat every student like a superstar as they walk down the red carpet and receive their very own bag of books. It's our way of getting students excited about reading.
The students felt like superstars. They walked into the media center, they saw that they had the 5 books, and it wasn't just the 5 books, they had the bag, and they had the highlighters. I mean, I don't know what it was about these multicolored highlighters. The energy was coming from our kids, it was coming from the Georgia State cheerleaders, it was coming from the news anchors, it was coming from the books, the 5 books that the students received.
you notice immediately which ones are their favorite, because they're often tapping their friends and classmates on the shoulder saying, look what I got, and just being genuinely excited about having their own book and knowing that they get to take those books home.
They are really excited. You know, you never think how excited a kid gets with just getting a book bag full of books, but they actually work.
The Media Center became a hub of literacy and fun and engagement.
You've got a highlighter, you've got a pencil, and you've got all these books. Are you excited to read? And are you going to share with your sisters? Oh, you're not going to share?
One student, he opened his bag and it was like Christmas. And he was like, oh my God, Curious George is my favorite book. And so just to see the kids' excitement to receive a bag of books and to know the importance of reading and the importance of literacy, and just to hear them say, I'm going to read these books every day, that just warmed my heart.
These books are yours. They're yours to keep. They're not going back to the library. They're not being passed on to anyone else. These are theirs. So it just kind of communicates the importance of reading to them.
In addition to that, connecting with the staff, the team, and the team being able to share stories, personal and professional stories, which makes the news a very real thing, a very real career for them that they can aspire to.
That's the hardest part, is trying to predict snow.
So, what is the funniest thing that happened to you while you were reporting?
I got the hiccups while I was on television and I couldn't talk.
The questions, the dialogue, and I was so proud of my students because they were having an experience to ask these questions, that if they had not come, they were extremely inquisitive and they were getting them answered from the people that they see on the news every day.
I don't understand, 6 or 7? 6! But I don't understand what that means.
Over the years, we've worked with various principals across the metro Atlanta area, all leading the charge to make sure their students are on track with literacy.
Reading helps us grow in all areas. It expands our imagination, and it goes on to help us become better writers, better communicators.
Books really open up a world that maybe a lot of our children may not have access to.
It's really important because most of my students speak Spanish and English, and their parents don't have access to books at home.
We want students, over 80% of our students, to be reading on grade level, and we have a huge way to go with that. So we take it by bite size. Each time they take a unit assessment, we have students that we want to be reading on grade level, and what are we doing in between that gap to get them reading on grade level?
One of the biggest things that we do is we celebrate literacy each and every day. Our students actually work on their literacy goals for about 20 minutes every day in addition to their reading time. And we actually check out over 2,000 books every month.
We try to make sure that our kids understand that every day is a new day. Every time they walk through their door, they get another opportunity to be great and to be better than the day before.
Students need opportunities to engage with text, maybe get off their screens a little bit more.
It's okay to read text on screen and things of that nature, but they need to have books of interest in order to promote literacy.
Literacy changes lives. So when we teach kids how to read, we teach them how to be lifelong learners.
So reading is the foundation. I mean, without that, they won't be able to do anything else.
One thing, we can support literacy, but you have to have something to read and something that you take pride in. And even students who receive books who may not have been on their grade level, or they had a mix of books, maybe a younger sibling could hear, your literacy-rich environments are what is important.
As a community, as a state, as a world, we should care about whether our children are reading, because it matters. It matters in every way, whether you have children or not.
If a community is thriving, that means that everyone in the community is meeting those benchmarks, and reading is imperative. It holds all of the expectations of life together, as well as the joy that we can find in it as well. And when the community becomes involved, they understand that they are helping to support a thriving community.
We want them to grow up well-informed, compassionate, and employable individuals. We want them to give back to their communities. We want them to give back to their state. We want them to give back to their nation. So we want to make sure that students are progressing not only academically, but in life as well.
And we believe it starts with a book to not only build reading skills, but curiosity, confidence, and more. Because when books occupy a central place in a child's world of entertainment, spirited conversations, personal discoveries, and lasting learning are sure to follow.
I would love to see us all join together as community and corporate agencies, building a city that not only leads, but reads. finding that next book, finding that next author, finding that next opportunity to ignite that love of reading, and that we aren't so focused on the statistics of how many students aren't reading, but how many students are reading and loving to read.
Thanks for joining us for this Books to Kids special. We hope you encourage a young person in your life to discover the joy of reading.
We have witnessed firsthand how this program has helped so many students, and we plan to continue to help so many more. For details on the Books to Kids program, visit the community section on AtlantaNewsFirst.com.